Hi, honey.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm on my period right now, so that's a whole thing.
Cute.
Tomorrow, my fiance Ethan and I are going to kind of like a cool area in Kansas City and going shopping for wedding bands.
Nice.
And he's going somewhere that was recommended to us to get like a custom suit made for the wedding
Yeah.
and for him to just have for
hmm
any other reason he'd wear a suit.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. But how
Nice.
about you? How are you? Any weekend plans?
I'm fine. Yeah, weekend plans are, well, the original weekend plan, which we might do if we have time, was to go to Topeka, where our wedding photographer is based, and go see if we can find any photography locations that we like. Um,
For like invitations?
yeah, for like engagement photos.
Cute.
And um she is willing to travel to where we are, but like we would have to pay mileage, which is fine. And she doesn't charge very much per mile, but if we can find something we like in Topeka, we might as well do it that way.
Hmm.
And just go to Topeka and like go eat and
Go somewhere different.
Pixie. Enough. Enough. No digging.
Hi, Pixie.
You can't. Here, take that. Ow. Bitch. Okay. So we can pay her to travel to where we are. We just have to pay the miles, but she doesn't charge very much. So it's not a big deal. But if we find something that we like, we might as well just do it in Topeka.
Yeah.
And then we can just make a day of it and go have lunch and just kind of hang out. But yesterday, when I was about to leave for work, my car wouldn't start.
Oh, shoot.
So now the new weekend plans are that my dad is coming up from Kansas City to look at my car.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So
That's
I'm
not
hoping,
fun.
no, I'm hoping that it's not anything crazy. Because the car is only like 2 years old.
Yeah.
So hopefully not, but it's like, I don't know. It's not just like it needs a jump. It's something else. So we'll see, but hopefully it's not a whole ordeal.
Car stuff is the worst.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought with my new car, it wasn't going to be like this because
Yeah.
my previous car I loved. I literally was obsessed with. Little Honda Element, little blue one.
So cute.
So cute. And so then I bought the next best square car. So I drive a Jeep Renegade now. But my Element was so old and had so many issues that like it traumatized me in terms of car problems.
Just being stressed about it and having
Yes.
anxiety all the time about, is my car gonna break down?
Literally.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. This is like the first time since I bought it in like summer of 2020. It's like the first time that I'm having an actual issue that is not just simple, like jumping it or something.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it's not a big deal and it's something that they can just fix in a day and we don't have to get it towed or anything like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, so hopefully if all goes according to plan, my dad's coming Saturday and then we will go to Topeka on Sunday.
Well, let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I will. I will update everyone.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And then my dog, I don't know if I talked about it at all last time. I don't remember when this started, but my dog was like acting weird and was not feeling good, it seemed.
Mm-hmm.
But we took her to the vet and she's doing a lot better now. She's like super perky and super happy. So we're hoping that it's nothing major and she doesn't need surgery or anything like that, but she's on a bunch of pills and she's literally turning into a princess because now
You're acting like she wasn't before.
Oh no, she was like a human child, but now she's like royal family human children.
Right.
And so she won't eat the pills. Like obviously it's fine. She's not going to eat the pills. So we tried peanut butter and she's like kind of too smart for peanut butter. Like she just licks it and then spits the pills out. So we've tried these like, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like pill pocket treats.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. My mom has to use those for her dogs.
She does the same thing. So she will like bite
Really?
into it and realize that it's not just a treat and she'll spit it out. So we tried wet food. because she usually eats dry food. So wet food, she gets so excited for that she like scarfs it down. So she doesn't even like chew a whole lot. So we did that, and then she started to figure it out. So then I started having to mix in dry kibble like into the wet food so that the crunchiness is not like weird, because then there's crunchy all throughout it. And that worked for a few days, but now she is figuring it out again. Jeez. And so she is like, she got to the point that I give her one pill that's like orange, and she had like grabbed it and spit it out so many times that there was no orange coating left on it. Like that's how smart she's getting with it. So now we're having to do a little bit of all of it. So I literally the other day, oh my God, this is borderline embarrassing. The other day, I literally was spoon feeding her wet food with peanut butter. Like it's like beef stew and peanut butter.
Right.
So that she has to use her teeth. And there's got to be like dry food in it so that she doesn't notice the crunchiness from the pills. She's literally so fucking spoiled. It's not even funny. And now my fiance just left, and now she's just sitting there staring out the window, chewing on a dental treat because he decided to give her the one treat that will be noisy for like 30 minutes. So
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. What else would she have?
Right.
Maybe my dog is just too stupid, but Missy, when she has, like, we give her pills every month just for like heartworm prevention stuff. And like if she's had other pills, the like chewable ones, she just eats the pill and crunches it up. Just the pill. Like we don't have to put anything on it. We don't put peanut butter on it. We don't do anything. We literally just put the pill in her hand and she just grabs it and chews it up. So maybe she's just stupid. I don't know.
I've literally never heard of that before. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Missy, she's special. So she's one of a kind.
Literally.
But yeah, we don't have that problem at all. So I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
my dog's too dumb to have to do all that tricky stuff.
Well, our heartworm pill is like a chewable.
That's how ours is too. Yeah.
Pixie like asks for that one. Like, whenever
so what do you mean it's chewable? It's not like a pill?
No, it's like
it's like a treat.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Ours is literally just a big white pill and she just takes it and chews it up and swallows it.
Some weird outside. I was like, I dead ass was like, there's somebody in my house right now.
Can you imagine if we got that on camera? Oh.
They'd probably delete the recording. Sorry. Get down. Get down. You're fine.
You seem like you're stressed. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm a little bit stressed.
You look like you have a lot going on in your head right now.
Kind of. Yeah, it's just between the dog and the car, and work is like picking up right now because I'm in education, and so it's
very like seasonal.
Yeah, so we're doing planning for the summer semester right now, so it's like everything is just hectic all at the same time. But it's all right. I like my job. My dog's being weird, but no, I like my job. The limited amount of stress doesn't bother me a whole lot. It just makes me frazzled. And today, oh my God, I had a meeting with somebody that I knew was going to take forever. And it's somebody who, she's so sweet, but it's just kind of an older lady who needs the same technology training every single semester.
Gotcha.
And
I'm the same way. So
yeah, fair enough. And I really don't mind doing it whatsoever, but it is always so long. And so today's meeting was from 1 o'clock to almost 3. It was like 2:47 or something. Yeah. And I had budgeted an hour, which is fine. Like, it really is okay. It was just one of those times that, like, as soon as I started talking to my coworkers after it was over, I was like, I am shot. Like, my brain and mouth are just like not working anymore.
Like I can't even process what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what's going on for me. Anything crazy going on with you? Okay. So you work at a preschool,
Mhm.
and you sent me pictures of you guys playing in the pool.
Mhm.
That's kind of amazing. Also, it's for visually impaired students.
Mhm.
I'm surprised. I guess I'm ignorant about like visually impaired people, but I'm surprised that that's something that's like safe.
Yeah, so we do yeah, it's for kids with visual impairments, and we also have a lot of kids with just other disabilities and are just medically complex. But yeah, the pool is one of their favorite things ever. So
I bet.
it's very big on when you talk about being safe. It's one adult slash teacher per child.
Oh.
So, and they're not allowed to swim within more than an arm's length away from
Mm.
you. And they're basically like the boy that I was with, he basically is just, they cling to you like the whole time, most of them, because they're kind of scared.
Sure.
So, and it's not deep in the, I mean, for them, but like I can stand in the whole
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
And they have the water really warm. So nice. It felt like a bath. But yeah, they love it. It's part of their, it's like a little classes they do, and it's led by a physical therapist. So they work on things like kicking and like arm scoop movements and like rolling stuff. So we do kind of like physical, it's supposed to be like actual therapeutic. And then at the end, they just have like play. They can play with whatever they want.
Nice.
But oh my gosh, it's so fun. And we do things like helping them like learn about trailing the pool. So like there's like rails on the side and they'll trail the whole thing. Like because with walls, that's how they get around, is trailing things rather than being in open spaces. Yeah, it was so fun because I mean we have to fully at work, you know, like put on swim stuff and get in a pool.
Yeah.
And then so it's kind of like not the most convenient thing in the world, but we had enough teachers in our class and enough students gone that day that we only needed one of our teachers to go to the pool with the kids. And we have 4 in our class, and they were all like, like I don't know. And I was like, I want to go. So,
Yeah.
like no one else wanted to. So I went, and it was so much fun. And it kind of just makes the day go by like, I don't know, it's like an hour, you know, and it just, I'm getting paid however much an hour to like go play with kids in a warm pool. Like it was so much fun. But we're going to do it every Thursday now for the rest of the semester. So yeah, it was so much fun. There's things like that, because it's funny because I'll talk about that kind of stuff with like the things I do at work to like my parents and stuff, and there's those people will often say things like, you are just an angel, like it takes a special kind of person to do that, and you know the patience and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I mean, I feel like I'm really lucky to have a job that's that like easy, not like easy in different ways, I guess, but I've had a desk job, which was, I was a case manager for Medicaid services basically. And it was the worst thing on the planet. I hated it. I couldn't do it. I wasn't there for that long. But people who, not like hating on it, but desk job kind of jobs, like to me, I'm like, that takes a special kind of person to do that. Like, I don't understand. You're so brave for doing that, literally. So I just always think it's funny when people act like I'm like doing a favor to the world by having a job like that. And I'm like, I literally feel like I'm having a favor done to me that I get paid to do that rather than have to sit on a computer all day. So I guess it works well that people want to do different things, but I always think it's funny when people act like I'm doing something so hard or like takes such a big heart. And I'm like, it's literally fun. Like it's way easier than.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's a thing where people don't know how to talk about people with disabilities.
Yeah, maybe.
Where it's like, oh wow, like you're so selfless to work with visually impaired youth, and it's like they're just kids. Like,
yeah,
it's the same. Like there are differences, but like it's being a preschool like employee,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just a different type of school.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not that
it's
like you're
still
not doing a
kids.
good thing, but
No, it's just funny. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but just the reactions of like, I'm doing something so hard and difficult, and I'm a selfless person. I'm like, I literally go to work and have like fun
yeah,
with kids and get to do all this cool stuff. So I don't understand. I feel like I get paid for the work that I do, and how much I get paid is a way better deal than jobs that other people have. So it's just funny when I hear that. I'm like, yeah, I guess. I feel like you're the one who's doing like
you're so brave.
hard work with doing that. Yeah. But yes, it's so much fun. We get to do fun stuff like that. So
yeah,
I
that's
love
awesome.
it. It's
Good.
great. Yeah. It's my favorite job I've ever had, and I get paid the most of any job I've ever had. So
there you go. Yeah.
It's great. It really, oh my gosh. It like thinking back now on my job before this, my case manager job that I just hated. It's very it's kind of like an epiphany to be like, oh, like you don't have to have a job that you're literally miserable in. Like it's not worth it. Like there are other things that you can do. It feels like you can't leave a job sometimes. And obviously I'm speaking from a place where I don't have kids or in a position where I'm living paycheck to paycheck where I can't have a gap in things. So I understand that's a completely different story. But yeah, you don't have to keep doing things in your life that make you absolutely miserable.
Right.
Just kind of figured that out. Because like one of my old coworkers texted me yesterday and just asking about how I was doing and stuff. And I asked how she was, and she was like, good. It's the same people at the office, like same whatever. And just thinking back about the fact that that is all still the same there, and there's all the people doing that, I'm like, oh my God, I could cry thinking about the fact that I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm in a new city, so it's just good new stuff. But basically I love my job, and I can't imagine doing what I used to do. And you can do what you want with your life. So you can quit a job if you hate it. It's really not that complicated.
Definitely. Yeah. It's a hard lesson to learn, because I have also had jobs that I absolutely hated and I stayed at.
I know. And then you quit and you're like, oh, why?
Why was I there?
For so long? Like,
yeah.
Most likely you could find something that either pays about the same or more. It's something you like doing so much better. So it's just like not, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just do it and you're like, oh, I didn't know I was like allowed to do that.
Right. Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, I have something to talk to you about today.
Okay, I'm excited.
So I intentionally did not bring you or give you any background information.
Right. I was kind of in the dark. I thought maybe you forgot that like we were filming today or something, because I didn't hear anything from you. And I'm like 5 minutes before we started, I was like, do I need to like read over any notes or anything? So
no.
I didn't know if we were going to be freestyling the whole thing.
No, I have quite a story. So I have another kind of mythical item today. It is a cryptid. Okay, dog break.
What does that mean?
Cryptid?
Yeah.
God damn it. 31. Let me get the damn dog up here. She's gonna be crazy. Come here. Come.
Hi, Pixie. I love you. I'm so happy you're feeling better. Hi, princess.
Why do you look psycho?
Hi, baby.
Look at
Missy's asleep on the bed.
Don't pull that out. Don't do that.
You get to be lazy, Pixie, and have your mommy baby you more than normal. Yeah.
If that's even possible. Huh.
Hi, sweetie.
Who even know? Do you think that you can sit in a chair by yourself, maybe? I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't think I can hold you. I don't think that's like feasible. You're so needy. She's like, I'm sick, I'm hurt.
I know. Just hold her, and then if she wants to get down, you can.
Are you gonna be good? Do you promise? Okay. It's like, please don't kick me out. Please.
No.
All right, fine. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna work with the papers. All right, that'll be fun. Okay, we're back from the dog break. So this week's story is a cryptid, which is sort of a like creature, some kind of like Bigfoot legendary type creature.
Okay.
So this is the story of Mothman. Are you familiar with Mothman at all?
Not at all.
Okay. So I'm going to tell the story and I will
Okay.
do a lot of breaks for you to give your thoughts at the time.
Okay.
Okay. So our story begins
Nervous.
begins in Point Pleasant, West Virginia in 1966.
Okay, wait. First question. Is this like a tall tale thing, or is this like historically an actual story?
This is true in terms of people really claim that this happened.
Okay.
They
Gotcha.
saw this.
Okay.
Okay. Dog is moving. Okay. Point Pleasant, 1966. Gravediggers in Clendon, West Virginia, about 80 miles from Point Pleasant. Apparently, I have no idea how to write in English, but it's fine. Gravediggers were working about 80 miles outside of Point Pleasant when they saw a man with wings rise up from a tree and fly directly over their heads and out of sight. So you have no information other than just this description of a large winged man rising over their heads, flying like right over them,
Okay.
and then out of their sight. So what would be your headspace at this point? Like if you were out digging graves at night, right, in some small town in West Virginia, and you saw what you think was a human man with wings fly above you, like what would you be doing? Would you be like panicking? Would you go to the police? Would you be like, I didn't see anything, goodbye?
Well, we'll have to get this out of the way first. If you know me at all, am obsessed with vampires. And so my
Okay.
brain immediately goes to like, maybe this is a vampire situation.
Okay.
Because have you watched Midnight Mass?
Yes.
So I'm thinking of that creature guy
Uh-huh.
and that who's like supposedly an angel,
Right.
but I interpret it as being a vampire. So that's kind of, I think, where my mind would go to immediately. And maybe it's because I'm like actually psychotic, but the thought of something like that happening in front of me, maybe if that was actually happening, it'd be completely different. But I feel like my reaction would be like excitement or like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing this, rather than like fear.
Okay.
Because I also
Yeah.
have the epitome of the complex of like a wild animal, like, oh, but like I could cuddle with it. Like if
Right.
there was this creature, I'd be like, well, it would like me. Like it wouldn't hurt
Right.
me because I'm like on its side. Like we'd
Yeah.
be friends.
Right.
So realistically, also I'm okay when it comes to like fight or flight. The new
Mhm.
one is freeze. And like
Yeah.
I'm 1,000% a freeze person. So in any situation where I was terrified, I would not run or try
Okay.
to fight it. I would literally freeze or like probably pass out. So I don't think running away would be my first reaction. I think that really what I would feel is like an awe of like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is crazy.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Or like
I
maybe it's a
think,
vampire.
right.
And I
I
can
think
go
if
with it.
I really thought that I saw that, I would be like, no, that was probably an animal.
Mm.
I'm done. I'm done for the night. I think I'm going home.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think I would discredit what I thought I saw like immediately with something like that. But I'm not
Okay.
saying that that's right or wrong. I just think that that's where I would be with this. Okay, so 3 days later, on November 15th of the same year, two young couples were driving together about 5 miles from Point Pleasant when they saw what they described as a large man with 10-foot wings and eyes that glowed red. This completely freaked them out, and they tried driving away to avoid the creature. They reportedly reached speeds of over 100 miles an hour, but the man-bird creature was able to keep up with them and followed them all the way to Point Pleasant. They immediately went to the police, who did relatively little. And of course, this was the point where the media picked up the story and named the creature Mothman. Following this, many people claimed to spot the creature, describing everything from a man to a bird with large wings. And eventually it was reported that the creature also had glowing red eyes. So where are you at this point? What do you think about the cops? There have been lots of sightings, and over 20 at this particular point in time, like a few months after the first sighting. And most people actually do seem to be saying the same thing. So are you thinking that they're right? Are you thinking they're looking for attention? Do you think they're seeing something completely different, like an alien? I guess I predicted your or like a vampire.
I was gonna say
or
something about that. Yeah.
What do you think all these people are seeing?
So, well, you said something about then the media picked it up and then there started to be more spottings. That makes me feel like more of a, not necessarily people making up that they've seen things, but maybe thinking that they've seen things that they've heard something like this around, but definitely the reports before anything picked up by the media, I think is way more credible or like interesting to think about. The police, I mean, nothing with any kind of supernatural element or anything, like, it would make no difference. I mean, maybe you could report it just to, in case it turned out being something different or like a person trying to do something to scare people, maybe. But in terms of actual safety, like, I don't know. Also, imagine you're a police officer and someone's like reports that. Like, I'd be like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. That just
like, okay.
I don't know what anyone is supposed to do in that situation. I'm thinking, I'm getting really like vampire vibes, but I also understand the vibe of like a lost alien kind of thing. Like maybe like accidentally got to Earth, or like, because it seems like an interesting creature to be completely on its own. So I think that's interesting, because usually with birds, aren't they, it's like a flock of birds. It's like
I think so.
But I also have to think about, it's kind of off topic, but the people that you said, the couples that saw them in the car and it was keeping up with them, I think about things like that, and it's like, what do you do after that? Like, say you saw something like that and then you just like nothing ever comes of it. Like, do you think every day about that? Because like eventually it has to just become normalized, and then 15 years later it's just like, remember when we literally saw that unexplained creature that goes against all laws of nature? Like, that was crazy. And you just have to, I don't know, like what are they doing now?
True. That's a good question.
I don't know. I always think that's funny to think about. Like, this, I don't know, what do you do after that? Just, or like when you're like last week when your grandpa, or it's a couple of weeks ago, your grandpa or your grandparents sing the ghost ship, like, are they just like, you know, like that happened, that was crazy? Like, I don't know. I'm definitely, I mean, my mind goes to vampire things, but I also am noting that it's interesting because it doesn't sound like it's hurt anybody. It's just around or keeping up with the car. Maybe it's like,
it gives like chasing vibes, like it's trying to hurt. Okay. So sightings reportedly only lasted about a year in this area, into about December of 1967. However, the creature was more broadly introduced to the US when the book The Mothman Prophecies was published in 1975, which described a series of supernatural events that seemed to coincide with the sightings. One such event includes the collapse of the Silver Bridge, which killed 46 people. The bridge was a suspension bridge built in 1928, which connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia to Gallipolis, Ohio. On December 5th, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed during rush hour. It was reported that a small defect on the bridge, just 0.1 inches deep, 1/10 of an inch deep, ultimately caused the collapse. In addition, the bridge had been consistently carrying more weight than it was originally designed for and had been poorly maintained since its construction in the late 1920s. So how does Mothman play into the collapse of this bridge? According to Mary Heyer, who was a journalist at the time, she said just before the collapse to one of her colleagues, "I had a terrible nightmare. There were lots of people drowning in the river, and Christmas packages were floating everywhere in the water. It's like something awful is going to happen." Then, after returning to Point Pleasant after a trip, it was reported that many people in the area were having similar nightmares about an upcoming disaster. Some even had dreams as specific as people drowning in the water of the Ohio River, the actual river that the bridge is built over. And at this point, the collapse has not happened. So I wanted to take your temperature again at this point. What do you think about this? Do you think that Mothman is causing dreams? And I should mention at the same time that there are also sightings of Mothman happening around the bridge around this time. Do you think that there's any connection between the two, or totally no? Do you think that this is still vampire-y? Do you think it's completely unrelated and like just coincidence?
I'm kind of getting more of a, well, it's weird to say this because I'm not religious at all, but getting more of like a religious vibe of like not necessarily causing these things, but almost like just a showing of the times almost, or just like a representation of darkness and death and all that kind of stuff. I feel like the man is more of a accessory to all of that's happening rather than the sole like reason that it's happening.
Yeah.
Like they're connected in that way rather than like he's evil and causing all these things. I think it's just like he's around.
Yeah.
In relation to all this like tragedy. I just like think we should not be too fast to judge him.
Right.
Like I feel defensive of him. So
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
Well, I think that you're gonna like how this ends, I guess. Okay, so another resident, Charlene Wood, who survived the collapse of the bridge, said this, and this story is fucking crazy. "When I got to the traffic light here in Point Pleasant, I got the red light. When it changed, I started going up onto the bridge, and just about that time, the bridge started shaking. She heard a loud noise and thought it was a boat that had hit one of the support beams on the bridge. She started reversing her car just as the bridge was literally folding into the water below, and her tires stopped right on the edge of where the bridge had fallen off. She got a red light and it saved her life.
Yeah.
If she had been on that bridge seconds sooner, she would have been one of the last cars to like fall in. But she backed up and her front tires were like just on the ridge of where like the asphalt had fallen in.
That's absolutely insane.
I literally cannot imagine. That's the kind of thing where it's like, how do you live? How do you continue to just like, yeah, I like survived a huge tragedy. It's fine.
Yeah. Also things like that's
driving over a bridge ever again.
Yeah. No. Well, that's interesting too, because thinking about the perspective of if you're in the car in the very front wheel there, it like you can't see that necessarily. It probably looks like you're just gonna fall if you move like at all. Yeah. Which I guess she would, but
how I interpreted it is that she just backed up as far as she could because it's rush hour. So it's like bumper to bumper. So she just backed up as far as she possibly could without hitting the car behind her. And it just happened to be fine. But she would have watched the car right in front of her like dip down and just assumed that she was next. Oh my God. And I think about this.
I'm gonna have a nightmare about that tonight.
Yeah, literally. Well, so we've driven up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, the UP, if you will, a handful of times, maybe 4. And we use the Mackinac Island Bridge, which connects the tip of the mitten to the like very outer edge of the Upper Peninsula. And that bridge to me is probably the biggest, like longest bridge I've ever crossed just by nature of living in Kansas.
Yeah.
And So it's long, and you get to like the middle and you're like, like I'm really on this bridge for
We're really
real.
just here right now.
Yeah. Like if anything went wrong, I'm suspended over the Great Lakes. Like I have nothing at my car. And even just the distance that you would have to fall to hit water. Oh my God. I literally cannot imagine. I
don't fuck
this
with water at all. Like not even lakes.
Yeah.
Like I don't fuck with the ocean or being over rivers. Like no. I like in a bridge situation too. Like I just don't. Water is one of my biggest like
Yeah. I don't get
horror
like
things.
a creep about water, but I don't like heights. And I think that a bridge still gives me that. Or like I get a little claustrophobic, and like being over a bridge or being on a bridge, like over water, just knowing how far away you are. And that like, if you fell in, you would just be trapped in your car. That just.
Well, we could do, yeah, because you just said you don't necessarily have a thing about water. That's reflected in lakes as well. You're a lake girl. I'm not, for that exact reason. We could talk about that for like a whole episode.
Yeah, true.
The arguments for and against the lake. Yeah. Anything heights. No, I used to be like cool with heights and liked all the rides at amusement parks and all that when I was younger, and so confidently that I did not a zip line, but like a swing thing over the Royal Gorge when I was in Colorado.
Yeah.
To where you're literally just free, like flying above whatever.
No.
I had fully like one of the worst actual panic attacks, and I don't use that word lightly, actual panic attack in my life. And from then was just like, nope, I'm not into heights anymore. Like I used to not care at all. And then that one experience, and now I'm like, no, thank you. Not ever.
Yeah.
So no, I don't fuck with heights or water. So yeah, that sounds like an actual nightmare.
So was this bungee jumping? Did you bungee jump?
Basically, it was like,
oh my God.
It wasn't necessarily, it was more like a swing. Like I was on a flat, there's like me and two other people. My sister and my stepsister went. And we were like laying down like on our stomachs more like next to each other, and then it like went out.
No, I hate that.
Yeah, it
absolutely
was,
not.
I'm kind of sweating thinking about it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I can do the occasional height, like controlled roller coasters, I guess I kind of can do.
I can do if it feels like you're in a seat, like.
Yeah, but I like
but not like a Ferris wheel super tall.
No, I can do like a carnival Ferris wheel, but really anything taller than that is like no. But the big, what do you call it? Not theme park, amusement park around where we live is Worlds of Fun. And I will not do the tall Mamba one, the one that's like insanely tall.
The iconic one.
Yeah, that's like the one thing that I will not ride at that entire park. So yeah, heights are not for me. So I can just imagine like, ew. Okay, anyway, I had to like slip that in because that firsthand account of just like how close you are to like, okay, anyway, I like,
I don't know how you would not think about that every day for the rest of your life.
Right. So between the first sighting of Mothman and the collapse of the bridge, there had been hundreds of reports of the Mothman in between. But after the collapse, the sightings suddenly dropped off. There are still reports of the creature, but they are few and far between and not concentrated in Point Pleasant. Other minor supernatural events also occurred at this time, but I think that's the most tangible thing that happened, like the biggest tragedy that actually occurred. But other minor things include stuff like outdoor pets and animals going missing or being found dead, and an odd amount of static in TVs and radios, the occasional odd light in the sky, and just other kind of odd things that aren't like that, but are not necessarily anything hugely devastating or, newsworthy in the same way. So I don't know. I think that like that part of it is really interesting to me, that it wasn't just that he was popping up, but that there were other weird things, like, I don't know, supernatural is maybe generous, but like weird things that were going on at the same time. Anyway, I am gonna start to talk about some of the possibilities that I wrote fun killers say, and then some of the like supernatural possibilities of what Mothman was. But do you have any thoughts at this point before I go into like what the theories are, kind of as far as what Mothman could have been, or maybe why any of this occurred?
So as soon as you mention weird things like animals going missing or being found dead, things like that, my brain is now shifting to I'm not as defensive of him. I feel a little
Okay.
more like maybe you're
I thought
kind
maybe
of,
that was going to happen.
yeah, anything if it's like an animal, I'm like, okay, no.
Mhm.
I sounds more like again, this is probably weird to say because I'm not religious, but I'm getting like a death angel vibes, like an evil angel vibe of like being present and almost not like casting spells, but like causing death and tragedy in its path without directly like being a slasher. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Going and
Yeah.
just murdering people, more of like a, not a vibe, but like a energetic darkness.
Yeah. Just kind of a
And
force of,
yeah, just
yeah.
him. And maybe it's not even intentional, but he just like releases all that. So maybe just wherever he goes, like all this horrible stuff would follow.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd love to hear what you have to say, but I definitely feel like I'm getting like an angel of death, darkness energy vibe.
Yeah. Interesting. I had not considered that at all. So that is very interesting.
What had
So,
you considered?
um,
Or you can tell me
my,
when you.
I will, but my first thought is alien.
Mm,
Uh, or that it's fucking Mothman and it's like actually some accidental creature that
yeah,
like is actually what he looks like.
deformed or
I don't
from,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go with the debunking stuff first because I think it's boring. And then we'll
It
talk
is
more
boring.
about the interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So some people say that, well, not some people say, Batman had just come out recently at this time and
Oh, that's
possibly had
interesting.
an influence on what people were thinking and sort of the pop culture. So they may have been seeing something relatively normal, like a large bird, or even possibly just a homeless person who they were just exaggerating a story about. But they were equating it to this supernatural being because of what was going on in pop culture at the time. Specifically, had it been a large bird with long legs, they may have thought that it looked more like a man because of the depiction of Batman that they were seeing in pop culture now. So, what are your thoughts on Batman? Does that seem realistic or totally no, or what?
I mean, that's kind of funny. I do think that, I don't think that's outlandish. Like, I do think that um, media, not even, I mean, scary movies, yes, but especially like things on like TikTok, kind of more odd, quiet, like not mainstream things. I'll see, I'll see, and then I'll be like, I am seeing that now. Like not
Yeah.
actually, but I don't know. Basically, just I do think that makes some sense of being like really influenced by
Yeah.
that. Maybe not to that extent, but I do think that's very coincidental that they're saying that came out at like the same time.
Yeah.
Side note, I'm not a superhero person at all, but Robert Pattinson is playing the new Batman, so I will be seeing that in theaters.
It's literally full circle. Robert
Yeah,
Pattinson of all
crossover
people.
between
Yeah.
vampire and
Vampire Bat.
that's
Yeah.
a sign. And then now that you're talking about this, that's like
Yeah.
a whole so
I
yeah, I
didn't know
think
that.
maybe I do think that's a really interesting point. Um, but I feel like that might be more of when you're talking about the media talking about it and then more reports came out, like maybe that was more of like a
Yeah. Like an
spin-off thing
influenced.
rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
the original. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So the next kind of debunking item is a bird called the Sandhill Crane. So some people said that they could have been the people that reported seeing the Mothman could have been seeing a sandhill crane, that had fallen off of its migration pattern and ended up scaring the residents. So these birds are pretty big, especially when you think of comparing it to like the average, I don't know, like 6-inch tall bird. These can get to be around 5 feet tall. And they have a little red like tuft thing on their like face and head.
Like the eyes.
Yeah, that people said could have looked like eyes. And mostly it looks like any other crane to me because I'm just looking at pictures of it, but I assume if it's 5 feet tall, that's actually fucking insane. But depending on how good you are at picturing a crane, it's shaped like a flamingo with like long skinny legs and then kind of just like a plop of a body right on top of the legs. And their wingspans can get pretty large. The original police report had about a 10-foot wingspan estimated. Jesus. And their wingspans would not necessarily be 10 feet, but in theory, like they could. But something like 6 to 8 feet would not be unreasonable for a bird of that size. So that's kind of why it's getting chalked up to that. And potentially one huge bird that is being sighted by a lot of different residents could like make pretty big news. And that could explain why so many people are seeing it, is because it's like so unusual to see a bird like that, especially in this area. But yeah, so that's the Sandhill Crane. Do you think that that's possible, or is that like, no?
I think that's interesting. I think that what I could buy into that is if you saw something that was larger than normal, I feel like your brain could think of it as being actually larger than it is. If that makes sense. Like, then it actually is. Like, if you see a dog that's way bigger than other dogs, but say it's only actually, this isn't right, like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
If it was bigger than most, you could be like, it was like 9 feet tall, like just because it seems bigger.
Yeah.
So that could kind of make sense of like an actual large bird could be seen as like a massive bird, even though it's only bigger than what you typically would see. So that kind of makes sense to me, that if you saw something like that, you would be like, it was the size of a person rather than just it was a really big bird. But I don't know. I feel like if you saw a bird, you'd be able to tell that it was a bird.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about this possibility, is like, even in the dark, I don't think, and maybe especially in the dark, I don't feel like you would see these little twig like flamingo crane legs and be like, that's an adult man.
Right.
Or like it's like a crane, so it's got like a long neck situation happening. Like, I don't feel like you would look, even if you were seeing it from underneath, like that neck, like that would be a long human neck. That would be
human bodies are very different than
so I feel like, I don't know, also for the red thing to happen, for the red thing to be like interpreted as eyes feels super unlikely to me. And like, I probably should have looked up how far off of the migration path it would have had to be to end up in West Virginia. But it's like at least states away. They are found in the US. I came across that. But states away. And that just seems unlikely. But also, for that like red tuft to be interpreted as eyes, you would have to see that in the daytime. Like glowing red eyes versus a patch of red hair, like does not translate.
That's what I was gonna say. The glowing wouldn't.
Yeah. So I don't know.
To see it that they were glowing, you'd have to see that in the dark. And if you saw red hair from a bird in the dark, you probably wouldn't even really be able to tell.
Right. Yeah. Especially because the rest of the bird is like grayish brownish.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't think that you can differentiate in like, because also like grave diggers and some teenagers out, I don't know, fucking around. Like, I don't know, like that's gonna be like dark, and also in the
Mhm.
60s, that's like dark. Like you're not in a
Right.
city where it's like dark, but there's never actually true darkness, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that the Sandhill Crane feels like the most realistic, like, oh, you saw a big thing with wings, you saw a
Yeah.
bird. I think that that's like the most realistic option, because like the Batman thing makes sense maybe, but it sort of to me doesn't answer the question of like what were they seeing though? Like did they see Batman? Like what, like they thought that a 5 foot tall bird, like what bird is that?
Maybe they're connected. Maybe they saw that bird.
Yeah,
They, since Batman came out,
right.
they saw it as Batman. So maybe it's both of those theories.
Maybe it's a flock of birds posing as an adult man.
Probably that, honestly, not impossible. Also, birds aren't real, so I'm kind of confused.
I was literally just gonna say that. I wore that shirt like 3 days ago.
You should have worn it today.
I didn't think about it. Yeah, my fiance got me that shirt for Christmas like years ago. Like before it was like a thing that a lot of people like recognize that
Because
phrase.
he's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
and I'm like a
that.
little bit weird, but not
Yeah.
quite the same degree.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so I didn't even know that that was like a joke campaign thing. I was just like, oh, birds aren't real. Like that's funny. That's fine. But like now
Did
it's
you
like a
see
thing that
the
everyone
thing
knows.
in Mexico of the birds falling out of the sky?
No, what the fuck?
You have to look that up as soon as we're done.
What is it? Give me like a quick. Do you know
I don't
anything
even want
about
to say
it?
anything because I want you to just watch it.
What the fuck? All right. That's gonna end up being like my next fucking topic.
I'm so surprised you haven't seen it.
Uh-uh.
Okay, but after we're done filming, when you watch it, I want you to still be on the call when you watch it because I want to see your reaction.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm really excited. I'm gonna rush the end of this because I want to see it.
You're like, okay, we're done.
Okay. Okay, so then like the last two, like real, what I would consider real possibilities, which is that it's actually a fucking Mothman. And I'm not here to answer questions about how he got here, but he's here and it's a fucking Mothman. It's a man with wings. Or, and like I said before, and I feel like I always say when it comes to weird stuff, it's a fucking alien.
Sure.
So the odd, unusual shape paired with weird events and static make it seem a little alien-y to me, especially because like, and I don't know, maybe I should not be saying this to you, but like sometimes with alien sightings, you get animals that suffer terrible fates, but like in weird ways. Like off the top of my head, I'm probably going to butcher this, but I think there was like an alien situation where they ended up like finding cows or horses or something that were just like drained of all their blood.
I've heard of stuff like that. Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, the animal stuff happening, and they didn't go into detail. So like I went into even less detail, but I don't know what happened. And
or like in Midnight Mass where all the like fish or the birds washed up on the beach.
Yeah, that was
like
creepy.
that kind of.
Are you guys just now watching that
stuff? No, we finished it a while ago. I've just been thinking about it still.
Oh. You have a better memory for like shows than I do, because I would not. I remember that
because I don't watch that many. Like I really don't watch a ton. So when I do, I'm like,
you're just better than other people because you don't watch TV.
Yeah. No, I do watch TV a lot, but I don't watch a ton of series like that. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I think it's kind of alien-y. I think it's weird coincidental.
Coincidences.
Coincidences.
No, you're right.
Coincidi. Plural.
Coincidi.
So, okay. So kind of on track with what you said earlier. People don't know if Mothman is like a bringer of bad things or if he was more of like a warning, because the sightings only lasted like a year, and they dropped off like a lot right after that bridge collapse happened. So it, like, some people speculate that he was not so much like bringing about all of this horrible stuff that had happened, but that he was like, and with the chasing people, like, was he chasing them away,
Right.
like for their own good, or was he like a bad entity that was like chasing them to like get them or whatever, and then he like made the bridge collapse? Or was it, you know, that he knew that the bridge collapse was coming one way or another, and so he was like trying to warn people and maybe scare people out of this town just with his presence or whatever?
That's an interesting point.
Which, and I felt this way about the dog thing when I talked about it. I hope that that's the case. I would like to think that like even the scary stuff sort of has like a good side.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably like a personal fault of mine, but anyway, those are my thoughts mostly. But before I ask you about what you think, I told you that you would like the way that this story ends. I want to let you know that there is now an annual Mothman festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where they do festivities and like fun stuff that's like themed and centered around Mothman. And it's like so funny. And I think
Do they
there's
like dress up as it?
there's like a Mothman statue. I have no idea. Probably somebody does. I don't know.
They cosplay it.
But I know that there's like crafts and like food. It's like a little like fest, you know?
Sounds respectful.
Yeah.
I'm very big on like, even if you don't believe fully in things, like don't, like I don't
True.
fuck with any, don't
piss
speak
it
ill,
off.
like
Yeah.
be respectful.
Yeah. So anyway, he's kind of become like a beloved little creature figure there.
That's probably why he did it. Just wants to like be famous and
true.
get
One way or
attention.
another. Yeah. Mothman is an attention whore.
Literally. Just trying to make a spectacle of himself to have a festival after him. Also, we should go.
Literally, yes. I would love to fucking go. Are you kidding?
No.
I don't know what the status is with COVID. I should look into that more, but I think it may have been at least canceled or postponed for a year or two. But I don't know.
Maybe
like,
they could do like a virtual event.
Oh, that'd be even better. But a lot of stuff is like coming back this year. So
really,
we may be going to West Virginia this year.
We can make a vlog.
Oh my God, how fun would that be?
So fun.
So stupid. Anyway, so what do you think? What do you think about Mothman? Do you like him? Do you hate him? Do you think he's an alien or a vampire? What do you think about Mothman?
I don't think he's the worst, because I feel like from understanding his physical and what he is, could hurt a lot of people, like physically attack and kill people.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like that's happening. It doesn't seem like that was found, bodies mutilated and stuff like that. So I don't think he's as bad as he could be, which makes me think I'm definitely getting more of the vibe of the just energetically like present for this bad. I can only use the word energy still have things to happen. I don't have as much of the vibe as like he is this evil entity cursing everything. It's more of just like he's almost like you said, a warning kind of thing, like just more of an accessory to this darkness coming to this town rather than being the one causing it.
Yeah.
He's like a symptom of whatever it was actually happening rather than the cause.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I don't know, I didn't put much stock into it because like, I believe people, but I think you start to suck the fun out of it if you like, I don't know, falsely claim that things are happening.
Yeah.
But
that's why I was like, as soon as after they talked about it in the media, I feel like after that, I don't take that as credible.
Yeah. Well, people have said that like around more current or recent tragedies, there have been Mothman sightings. But
It's like a
I don't
fallen
know.
angel kind of thing.
I don't know. Yeah. That's so interesting. The whole time I was writing this, I literally did not consider that to be a possibility whatsoever. Like any kind of like, I don't know. I also watched Midnight Mass. I'm surprised that I didn't think of that at all.
You're just not as like intellectually
Right.
stimulated as I am, I guess.
No. Yeah. It's got to be the going to preschool every day.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, speaking of that, I get so humbled sometimes. I will have some questions about math.
Ooh, yeah.
And things that like I do not know how to answer that. Or basic questions about like what is the things about the solar system and like which is the largest planet. Like it's bad. Or like division. Well, one of the kids, okay, this is totally a sidebar. This is not regular preschool level things. He's very advanced. But asking about like long division kind of stuff, I literally couldn't tell you. Or even just in subtraction where you have to like borrow.
Oh yeah. No, that gets tricky real fast.
I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So no, if anything, working at preschool makes me feel dumber. But anyways. But also like, where did he go?
Oh my God, Mothman? I thought you meant your preschooler.
No. I'm just
asked me about long division and he just disappeared.
I haven't seen him since then. It's really weird.
Oh my God.
He hasn't been at school in a week.
Mothman, I don't know where he went. I don't know. The festival, probably.
I think he just wanted to maybe he's like this immortal creature who was just like bored and just wanted
just
to
popping
go.
In.
Yeah, just popping in, checking things out, and like have a little festival for him and just be like, I really did that. Like I really made this whole thing.
Yeah.
And no one's ever gonna know. And then I just left, like just for fun.
Yeah.
Like maybe he just wants like some drama.
True. Might as well stir the pot if you have time.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's just.
I get that. Mothman made us in his image.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just one of the girlies. Wait for a good time.
Mothman is one of the girlies.
He is.
Yeah. I think that we solved it. I think we get Mothman more than.
He just wanted attention.
Yeah.
But also like all respect to him. Like we're not making fun.
Yeah. We
love you.
Right.
Truly.
I am not looking to be the last car on a bridge collapse anytime soon.
When you were saying that, I literally thought you were going to say something about like he like saved her.
Oh my God, that would be a story.
Like pulled the car, or she was going to say like she saw him and then like stopped, or like I thought it was going to be something like he literally saved her.
Oh my God, I wish it was that interesting.
Like that's iconic.
No, that would be something. You just made
my whole story that's like a good novel. Like he
true.
was doomed, like it was her true love, and he was like doomed to hell and became a demon and like did all this stuff to get back to Earth to like save her from this thing.
Oh,
that'd be cute, right?
Mothman is
I'm reading. Have you heard
romance.
The Song of Achilles?
I don't think so.
It's like all over TikTok of like it's just like a TikTok book people are obsessed with. And I started it and obviously I'm obsessed with it and I'm having to like space myself out so I don't read all of it. And like I've made it last, it's like 400 pages or something, but I've made it last like 4 days, but I'm like, I'm finishing it tonight.
Oh my God.
I have to, but you would love it. It's a homoerotic Greek mythology novel.
Yeah.
So it's like the love story of Achilles and his partner. It's amazing. Anyways, so I very much live in that kind of mystery fictional realm with like everything I read is, and I mean that's not obviously exactly the same, but any kind of like fictional supernatural stuff, I'm in that world all the time. So I truly believe that if I was to see something like that, I would not be like, oh my God, this isn't real. I don't know. I'm a believer in like everything. So
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. I think that I would just be like, not me though. It's not happening to me though. Like
I think
other
I'd have the
people see
opposite.
crazy
I'd be like, it's here for
shit.
me.
I would just think like other people have crazy shit happen to them.
Interesting.
But like I live in that fallacy, like
Yeah.
fantasy land where it's like, oh,
You
my
do for
car,
sure.
my car won't get broken into. Like other people's cars get broken into.
Right.
Then again, I do think that I'm literally going to get murdered at every turn. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm more
into,
of a the
no.
world revolves around me kind of person.
Yeah.
To where like I do think of everything as like that would happen to me.
Yeah. I have very like main character internal monologue. And so like definitely bad stuff could happen to me, but nothing like super bad because I have to live to the end of this book.
Right. It would just be for the plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Main character energy, like memes and stuff, is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, I always laugh at every single one. It kind of takes away though, seeing that like other people feel like they're the main character. I'm like, okay, so I'm not even the main character.
Or everyone else is wrong.
For thinking,
and it was just
yeah,
made for you. The
like
meme
I'm
was
not
made
unique
for you.
in thinking that I'm
Unfortunately.
unique.
Right.
Which is kind of weird.
I kind of hate that.
Me too. But yeah, I don't know. My toxic trait is also thinking that Mothman is kind of like could be my lover, maybe.
Mothman
like,
is, yeah.
Like, is he handsome? Like, I just can't get over the vampire vibe. Like, it sounds like something from one of my, like a book that I read of.
Yeah, it literally does. I saw like drawings and stuff. He's not depicted as being super handsome.
Was he
but
like
look,
cute?
Yes. But if he is depicted with legs like a flamingo, I think that you would be interested.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. So you're saying he's tall and skinny.
Yeah.
And
he's built like a crane.
Love it. Honestly, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I thought that would work. And glowing eyes. Oh, we love a sparkle.
I mean, that is
in
cool.
The eye.
Yeah, that is cool. Like, he's different.
Right.
He's unique.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That is, I had never heard of that at all. Might have to see if there's Mothman TikTok.
Oh, there is. Oh, trust me, there is. Yes. Yeah.
That's my toxic trait, is anything I hear about that I'm slightly interested in, I just search on TikTok and like watch TikToks about it for hours.
Yeah. This is a fun one. I think Mothman is fun because it's kind of like, obviously the bridge collapse is like horrible, but
yes, that
regardless
is
of like, regardless of what you think about Mothman, like the bridge was going to collapse anyway.
That's true.
Like, callous as it sounds. And so it's kind of like Mothman feels like just this innocent, like fun escape thing.
Sure.
You just be like, oh my God, isn't that crazy? Like he probably like was trying to warn people about a bridge collapse. Like, wow.
Right.
And it doesn't feel
as depressing.
Yeah, like it doesn't leave me with that like exhaustion that you can sometimes get from like really traumatic stories or like really horrible like ghost demon things or I don't know, just like anything like true crime, like murder stuff. Like you get like kind of a heaviness, and I feel like Mothman is just kind of like, I don't know, there's like a Mothman festival, like it's fun,
right?
And I don't know, I think that there's like a fun lightheartedness in it that's like uplifting.
Also maybe kind of makes it feel like it's less like real. Like obviously it still happened, but just thinking about like a bridge collapse, but then there's been sightings of like a human bird man thing, it just seems more like, oh, that's a cool story. Rather than like the reality is like all these people died from this bridge, you know what I mean? I feel
True.
like it also just makes it like, oh, this is a fun, cool thing that happened, but like my
Mhm.
brain categorizes it like it didn't actually happen
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's an interesting take on that.
to make it more like I don't know.
Palatable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, oh my God, that's like you said, like, oh my God, that's crazy. That there's
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any closing thoughts about Mothman or anything else?
like we should not be too quick to judge him. I feel like maybe he was trying to help people or was just there
Mm-hmm.
coincidentally.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong
Yeah.
place, wrong time. I definitely think that he could have really hurt the people with the sightings of him and
Mhm.
didn't. So if anything, I don't know. I don't think he's that bad.
Yeah. I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
My closing thoughts is that I like him.
I do too. My closing thought is that I'm attending this Mothman festival
Let's
one
do
day.
it.
And that
Seriously.
is that on that, to be honest.
I love it. Love it.
All right. Well, bye, honey.
Thank you for all your research and fun stories. I love it.
Of course. I had a blast telling this one.
Good. Me too. Me too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, honey.
Bye, honey.